I'm a huge fan of vampire movies and entertainment. Every year, once the Halloween season hits, I rewatch a bunch of my favorite horror movies, and I've realized a lot of them end up being vampire movies or TV shows. Keeping with that vibe, I decided to do a vampire poster for the spooky season. As I always do with my poster designs, I have a very clear image in my head of what I want it to look like. So I usually start off by collecting and editing all the assets that I'll need for the design, which is what I'm doing right here. The first thing I slap together is the decapitated head of the vampire. I start with a base model that I can add onto, and then to get the mouth to hang open like I want, I use an image of a man yawning. I use two different eyes, one open and one kind of closed, to give the face kind of a dead look. I found a shark tooth that I like the look of and used that to make a weird, uncanny set of teeth for my vampire. After the teeth were in place, I added the inside of the mouth, and to give it a bit more character, I added a tongue hanging out of the mouth as well. I moved on to the neck and gave it a torn kind of look to make it look like it had been ripped from the body, adding raw meat to look like the flesh inside. I adjusted the color on everything to make it more cohesive and made the eyes go in different directions before graying them out to make them look dead. I did some final shading and texturing to the head and the neck stump, and then I moved on. We obviously needed a Bible, so I took this very old looking book and added Holy Bible to the front of it. I cut out a bunch of stakes and crucifixes, even though later on I only ended up using one of the crucifixes. Cut out a bunch of garlic as well before I moved on to probably the most complicated object I put together, the bottle of holy water. Cut the bottle out, added a little cross onto it, and then to make it look like there was liquid inside of it, I added these little bubbles to the bottle. Finished off the bottle with an old label, and moved on to the headless body of the vampire. The process for the body of the vampire is very similar to the neck stump on the head. Raw meat, texturing, and shading. The final object was a frame which I would later turn into a mirror, which I cut out and then made to look like it was made of gold. This is my favorite part of any poster I do, laying everything out and trying my best to tell a story with it. Unfortunately, Photoshop crashed on me as I was trying to shade everything, so I had to start over on the layout. Luckily, I had saved the file as a displacement map and used that to redo the layout. After I got everything laid out again, I started shading everything by first adding where I wanted the sunlight to be coming from. The shading and light effects on the bottle of holy water are probably my favorite bits of shading on the whole poster. After the shading is all done, I collect my blood assets, cut them out, and lay those out around the poster, putting it not only under the body, but also on top of the objects around the scene. I put blood on the neck pieces before moving on to the reflection in the mirror. I did my best to show where the head was, to show that it had no reflection, but I think that was kind of lost with how I ended up laying the poster out. Nevertheless, I love how the mirror turned out. Here I am darkening the scene and adding dust particles to the sunlight. I didn't record it, but I added my logo to the bottom of the poster, and because I felt like it was missing something, I added blood droplets to the mirror to tie it into the scene more. And with that, the poster is complete. If you like this art video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And until next time, bye-bye.